Welcome back. You ever just think to yourself how good orange juice is? It's like the best thing ever, dude. Real orange juice. But I always feel a little bad for drinking orange juice. Gotta watch out for sugar. Can't have too much sugar now. Real talk though, I used to be big into keto. I did keto for 2 years and I got pretty lean. But man, I think there was a lot of fear surrounding sugar. I remember reading Grain Brain. I remember reading like Sugar is the Enemy. There was all these books. And it was always by like someone with the last name of Cohen or something. Anyway, but it was, the whole campaign against sugar. Sugar is the enemy. But if you think about it, as kids, what do we like? We like sugar. I think breast milk probably has a bit of that sweet sugar in there. It's also got the ketones, I'm aware, but it's got these simple sugars, easy for the body to break down, kind of fire up the baby, get the baby energized and growing, spark it to life. So I think somewhere, maybe, when was this? Was it the 60s, the 70s, where sugar started to get demonized, and what started to get promoted was like those fats. It's better to remember. I can't believe it's not butter. We know the seed oils and stuff. So that's not where we're going with this message. But what I was thinking is, man, as kids we loved the sugar. I just remember, Dad, can I get some cotton candy? Sure, son. Mom, can I have some Life cereal? Cinnamon Life was the goated cereal back in the day, by the way. That and Honey Bunches of Oats. Crave the sugar. And I remember some of my best workouts were fueled by 3 bowls of Honey Bunches of Oats. I loved it. But again, along the way, you start thinking, oh, sugar's bad for you. So I went on this super limited sugar and carbs diet, and I got lean, and look at the little bee. Hi, bee. How you doing, bee? Bzz, bzz. Sweet thing makes honey. Again, honey. The best pumps are on honey. The best pumps is when you pour honey in your mouth for 7 seconds and you drink it with orange juice or Coke. Seriously. Hyphy mud, what was the name? Cali Muscle was onto something with that hyphy mud. I also have 5 grams of creatine in here. You guys can't see it. It's mixed in. So cheers, man. So what I'm really getting to with this whole Retard Max series that we've been going on is a return to a sort of childlike state, a way of being that is sort of unhinged, a sort of return to who you are, really who you are without all the fear and the baggage of society, your parents, the people of the world. Just unburden. Who are you at that core? That childlike state. Jesus said, let the little children be. Let them come to me. Don't you dare hold them back. Those among you that are the least of you will be exalted to the highest. He said something of that nature. There's something there, man. There's a message within that, to become childlike. So we're looking at sugar. Why do kids love the sugar? Interesting. Well, there's this man named Raymond Pete. A lot of you guys have heard of him. He said, eat like you're drinking the Coke. You're on the Pete diet. This was very interesting to have a bit of sugar in your life, and then it fires up your thyroid. It gets your liver functioning again. It heats your body up, and you become this freaking energy machine. So I started kind of testing this out for myself. And I also have this thing with my nose, my sinuses, man. I've been struggling, guys. You don't know this, but my nose is like really, God nerfed me with this nose. It's hard for me to breathe. I think I have a deviated septum. I got hit in the face with a baseball in Little League years ago, but I also think jiu-jitsu didn't help. I kind of got bopped around a few times. So breathing and I have allergies, but I think it's gluten. I think there's a subtle gluten intolerance to my body. So the Pete recommends you can have sugar, you can have honey, natural cane sugars you want. You can even have some high fructose corn syrup because the way it metabolizes is kind of like the same. We're not getting too deep into science because I don't really know the science. I don't care about the science. We're running tests. But I've been feeling good. And you're kind of eliminating a lot of starches. You're allowed to have potatoes and rice. And I think my body does pretty damn good with this. So you return into this sort of state of low inflammation, high energy. And this is the key, is when a body has a lot of energy, you're able to feel again. Do you understand me? You're able to feel. You're able to feel and connect with your motivations and real ambition, okay? And you're able to connect with your intuition. So spontaneity, things, the energy, just the vibrance comes out of you naturally. You don't got to think. And that's what we're doing here, is eliminating the overthinking. Perceiving, as Pete said, thinking, acting. Boom, boom, boom. All right? Just humanaga. You know, like Crash Bandicoot. Humanaga. Just freaking going in. So, retard Max. There's something here. There's really something here to not overthinking. A lot of us have been trapped by self-improvement. We feel it. Now, if you told a kid, hey kid, you want to hear about self-improvement? You start rubbing your little hands together. Hey kid, you want to learn about self-improvement? Kid's going to look at you like you're an idiot. He's going to say, that is super gay. Do you want to play hide and seek? That's what a kid would say. Because the intuition, the genius of the child is knowing that play is everything. That play is the only way to discover more about yourself, more about the people around you, and more about the world around you. It's through play. It's not through a sort of weird focus on the self and a set of habits and rules that you can do. That's not real play. That to me is super interesting. You know, it would be a lot better for all of us if we could just remember that play is how we learn more about ourselves. There was a bee right next to my dang big toe. So let's just get this. Let's get into this. I mean, look, play teaches you to be someone that pushes. You know, there's an opponent, there's defense. You got to go against the defense. You got to have a sort of spirit to you, a conquering spirit. And a lot of guys, when they do self-improvement, they stop playing. They become too serious. They let go of things that made them, that they enjoyed, but maybe they let them go because someone told them they were bad. So play and fun gets out of their life. And fun, you must always, amongst the hustle and bustle of the daily grind, of daily living, I believe you must never forget what is truly fun. Because then you start to die. So a lot of us forgot what is truly fun. We forgot to play. And a lot of us have been kids, you know? A lot of us were teenagers a couple years back. So you've been a kid longer than you've been an adult. All of a sudden you grew up, started taking yourself way too serious. You started listening to the opinions of others. You started dressing up to impress other people. You started doing things for other people instead of doing things that you enjoyed, that were benefiting you, that were bringing you joy, you were following your bliss, you were learning about the world, you were discovering your motivations and what you were good at. You were fortifying your spirit, right? Among the vicissitude of daily living. It was every day was new. The summers were long. Everything was great. So when we get older, we try to improve, but we end up spinning our wheels. We end up on a merry-go-round. What I've realized is that if we continue playing, if we continue having competition and doing things that bring us joy, what we find in there is a sort of natural life that is set up to continue and further play. Does that make sense? Because in order to play, you got to be healthy. And so you live in a natural way that fosters more energy and more growth, and you're able to get out there and play. For instance, I said this many times years ago. The reason I fell in love with jiu-jitsu is because it was like a missing piece of the puzzle. If I wanted to be good at jiu-jitsu, it mean I had to show up and train. But I wasn't going to show up and train if I wasn't sleeping good, if I was drinking too much, if I wasn't eating right, and if my jiu-jitsu got better when I trained and I took care of my body. So it was natural improvement by just going out there and playing and being a part of something bigger than just myself. And I think many guys get it wrong, and it's why they have such trouble and they feel stuck in life, is they're improving for the sake of improvement. I think when you do something that demands you to improve, all the pieces just fall into place. And another aspect was community. Community was that this sort of merit-based community that demanded me be there as sort of an ambassador of the sport as I climbed the rank and show up and just, be a good training partner. So there was that added weight of responsibility to show up for someone else outside of myself. This sun, man, this creatine, this orange juice, this cigar, this is all hitting. I hope you guys are having a good start to your summer. We're going to keep it high through most. We start Sun and Steel in a couple days. Our 3-month challenge. If you're not in, join us. You got to post 2 pictures standing outside, looking up at the sun. Best transformations win. All right? I had this discussion with you guys the other day in a video that there's 3 things that made me distrust a guy immediately. And I was sort of joking, okay? I'm not being a complete dickhead here, but there's just something I've thought about this. When they hate chocolate, right? When they just absolutely, I hate chocolate. Can't eat anything with chocolate. That has chocolate in it? No. It's like some mushroom on a pizza or onion. No, I can't eat that. Eat the chocolate, dude. If a man can't drink black coffee, like I like black coffee, but I also like coffee with cream and honey. That's another thing that has been hitting big time is coffee with cream and honey. Like a lot of honey. Honey's great. I think honey is the ambrosia of the gods, as the Greek would call it. The Greeks. So, can't drink coffee black, has to have his cream. And another one was the taco truck boys, or the boys that rave, hoot, and holler about taco trucks. Because who's really getting excited for 3 ounces, not 3 ounces, a half an ounce of meat. You spend $20, you get 3 tacos with a half an ounce of meat. And these guys are like, man, I can make them myself. So it's kind of hard to get hyped up about something that I could really do myself. I'm not even Mexican. But, I like tacos. I'm not hating. But something really stood out to me. I was like, what is the number one tell, the pet peeve that bugs me about a guy instantly? And it's this. I believe men are meant to be active together, not just sit and talk all the time. So, one thing that really bugs me, let's make sure this is not going to die, is when I do an activity like a sport, pickup game of basketball, anything sport related, right? Like the first time we're kind of playing, could be anything. And they show a lack of athleticism. Like they lack the athleticism to, even if they're complete dog shit, they're brand new. Like I've never played tennis, but I guarantee you, if I went to play tennis today, I would not be dragging ass. I would be doing the best freaking backhands. I would be using the same form that I use for disc golf to hit that freaking backhands. I would do that with my backhand and forehand, same thing, boom, and I might hit the net and I might not even hit the ball at all. But I would be focused. I would be there. I would be giving it my all. I guarantee I'd be sweating. And nothing rubs me wrong or shows me the spirit of a man when he doesn't try during times of playful activities. when he mentally checks out. And I think there's a gigantic thing here, guys, is like when a man is not athletic at all, when he can't even summon it. You don't got to be athletic, but you could be 300 pounds and still be an athlete, dude. You got to summon that shit from your brain. Just, I am a freaking athlete. Let's go. You just commit. So you summon it. But a lot of guys don't even have it. And what I really got down to, we're getting a little deep, is a lot of guys are just downright domesticated. Which is scary to think about, because I've ran into this multiple times where I'm playing a sport, there's just like a glaze over in the eyes. This isn't my thing. I prefer this. They give up. They don't have that oomph, that thumos in their spirit. And what it really comes down to is a sort of domestication of the spirit. This is, I think many men are dealing with this. We're going even deeper. I think this is the cause of divorce. Okay? So let me break this down real quick. It started really in school. Like for a lot of, I think they should do away with middle school and high school. Give me elementary school. Teach me how to read and write, basic arithmetic, teach me some science, and then get me out. Send my idiots kids out into the world. I was thinking about myself. Send me as an idiot out into the world and let me just claw tooth and nail and learn how to talk to people. I was homeschooled a lot of my earlier years. People always picked on homeschoolers. Oh, those are antisocial kids. Dude, antisocial? I was more social being homeschooled than I wanted to be in high school. I became an introvert in high school because I hated all the idiots I was around. I despised going there. It felt like prison for me. I gotta walk there. Sometimes get dropped off by my dad. Just hang around these complete goons. People get in the newest clothes. I felt like I remember everyone wearing American Eagle, Abercrombie, Hollister, all this bullshit. And here I'm trying to okay, I guess I can go to PacSun. I get my little Fox t-shirts. I had like 20 Fox t-shirts I just wore on rotation with my boot cut jeans. Just felt like an absolute pimp for about a year, and then it got old, right? They started fading, started getting made. People were like, oh God. You had to keep up with the little idiots. These idiots doing drugs, smoking weed, just I'm like, what is going, like everyone seemed weak to me. And this is right around the time I got into weightlifting. And that was my only saving grace. There was a hope for the day, the light at the end of the tunnel. I would go to lunch, get 2 skim milks, and then get a little pump on. I started a club at the school gym, and we'd get a little pump during lunch. But other than that, I hated school. I hated everything about it. The teachers, I feel like they didn't care. I feel like what we were learning is bullshit. Like, we're really all learning the same shit. And we're supposed to somehow transition into the real world and all find success? How does that make sense? When I was homeschooled, I was doing school for a couple hours a day, going out playing a lot, discovering my body, discovering what I'm capable of, developing leadership skills, and just talking to all the neighbors and the kids. I was going with my dad to the flea markets. I was watching him sell. I was hearing him talk to everyone. I was talking to people. I was selling stuff for him while he's busy with another customer. We're unloading trucks. I'm getting work. I'm getting sun. I'm feeling great. It was like life was recess. And then I had to go to school, and I got fucking depressed, dude. I hated school. It was the first time in my life I felt like what is going on here? What is going on? I felt hopeless. And what I realized is, looking back, that's really the first time a lot of us are domesticized. Like, we're domesticated. And dude, it just is so crystal freaking clear that we've been conditioned to be told what to do, to have our paths guided, to be positioned to, you must learn this so that you can do this, so that you can go work for someone that you don't even care. You must associate with idiots that you don't even like, because one day those idiots are going to be your damn coworkers. Okay? You want a little class party? Here, we're going to throw your class party just like your employee party with the other freaking idiots. You guys can all be smiling and put on this fake little mask and, act like you're having a good time. So it's not set up to make you a freaking dog. You know, it's not set up to make you, it's really set up to defang you. That's what it is. Like Aesop's fable in The Lion. That lion asked the daughter, hey, let me take your daughter out for me. He's like, yeah, calm down, cut your teeth off, cut your fangs. He comes back, says, okay, I'm ready. Boom, kills the lion, bashes his head in. That's what happened to us in high school. We got defanged, we got declawed. A lot of us learned to give up. We stopped listening to our own intuition. We let that little kid die inside of us, what was important. And I'm telling you, a lot of us had this experience, man. A lot of us know what it was like back then. It's why we look with rose-tinted glasses on the past. 2020 hindsight, yeah, those were the good times. They were good because we still had something in here. We still had something in here. And so this whole, the retard maxing is going back, dude. We got to go back. We got to go back. We got to peel off the layers. We got to get rid of it. We got to break the conditioning. It's hard to come back. It may be the very fight of our lives. So I'll tell you that going down this route, I learned that this is exactly why guys struggle so much with women, is because a woman has a strong affinity to an undomesticated man. That's why they have this like liking to criminals, you know, like, oh, it's this bad boy archetype. Being a nice guy, being a gentleman is not wrong, but demonstrating to a female that your will and your spirit is in decay is a massive turnoff. And I think that's the sort of the ick, is the spirit. They sense a sort of, this is a dog that has been domesticated. This is a lion that lives in a zoo. This is a man that has lost what has made him a man, and it repulses them. And I've noticed that women will never really break your conditioning. Women will make you more of what you are. And so if you're a bitch, then you will have to deal with the shit test, which can either, if you're equipped to sharpen up, she'll fall deeply in love with you. She'll learn to trust you and want to further that confidence. But if you're not able to handle these little shit tests, and you start bickering and arguing with her, and you got to always explain yourself like it's your mother, what she sees is a sort of a guy that's given up. He's worried about the wrong stuff. He's worried about the wrong stuff. He's not following his intuition. He's trying to be something that he's not. He's trying to blend in too much. You got to be like a rebel, dude. You got to revolt. And I've seen this so much. I think women will actually, I've heard this happened to a guy in our group. His girl cheated on him, and she called him up and said that she cheated on him with a little smirk on her face, and almost like rubbed it in his face. And the reason she did this was one final ooh-rah, one final shot in the freaking bucket to see if she could wake this dude up. You know, one final just, listen, you little cuck. Do you realize I just cheated on you? Get your shit together. Snap out of it. And like I said, they don't break your conditioning, but they will keep going until you just become disposable, and then they get rid of you. And so many men are conditioned. They've lost their will. They've lost their drive. They've lost that desire to be an ubermensch, to break free from the conditioning, to get back to who they are. And it's a reflection in the disgust by their female, by their woman. I have had this ability to call whether or not guys are going to break up with their girl in a few years, and I shocked my family with it, like a little party trick. Like, yeah, they're probably gonna break up in a year or two. They're like, no, they love each other. I'm like, yeah, I can just see something there. I called it recently with some friend, some relative's friend, and what it always came down to was, does the woman, when she looks at her man, is there ever a sort of micro expression of contempt? Sometimes it's a little more pronounced, sometimes it's a little bit more subtle, but you can often see in a relationship, if the guy's speaking or if he's not speaking, and the girl treats him with disrespect. Go fill up my water bottle. She doesn't say please, she doesn't say thank you, she doesn't have manners. She doesn't really, it's not a support for the man to further him, to further that life energy, that fatherly energy. It's a sort of sucking, a dragging down, a toxic pollution of the individual. If you see that contempt, you can bet your bottoms that if the man doesn't change, that relationship's gonna end. And it really, I mean, it's just so freaking clear, dude. You can see it on your friends, family, they just see it. And all a guy has to do is really get back to who he is. Get back to more of who he is without all the nonsense foisted on him by society, thrust on him by the world, expectations about, but there's a calling. There's a desire. That's what it is. It's a desire for freedom. One must break out of the zoo, but one's being so conditioned to live in the zoo, this prison, you know, this fake prison. So, man, there must be a return. So, listen, man, if you made it this far, I'll probably make another video entirely about this, how to retard max on a budget, okay? But if you're like someone, I've met a lot of guys recently that have like a deadening in their mind. They've lost their thumos. The weight of advancing forward in life is too much. I get it. Life is tough, okay? I understand. I think you need to get stimmed the fuck out, okay? I really, really recommend, if you are low energy, you need to buy a bottle of honey. You need to squeeze that thing in your mouth and gulp honey raw. Just like swallow it. Throw creatine back. You need to eat more sugar. Should I kill myself? Or should I just have another cup of coffee? Albert Camus, right? Have another cup of coffee, dude. Have more than a cup. Drink a whole freaking pot of coffee. And squirt honey in your mouth. You think this is crazy? You think this is absurd? Dude, do you want to wake the fuck up? Sometimes you got to have a countermeasure in equal or greater strength than the freaking stress that is put upon you. So a lot of us are like low energy. We're tapping out. We're about to tap out, dude. This life, and that's the thing. It's not a sudden. You're not getting choked out. It's not a sudden just. It's a slow losing your will, where the body becomes a tomb. The body gets frozen, and then the mind starts to die. How do we unlock it? Through play. We unlock it through energy. Listen, trust me, have more sugar. Don't be afraid of sugar. Cut out the bullshit, like the bullshit fats, like eat saturated fat, cholesterol, but cut out like the chips that have been fried in these canola oils and all these garbage oils. Eat some starch, maybe rice. White rice is fine. It's easy on the stomach, easy to digest. Look at those damn Asians. Potatoes, and then eat sugar. Not like freaking, I'm not recommending you just go out and eat a bunch of Sour Patch Kids. You know, it's still got all this artificial stuff, but eat some sugar. Don't be afraid of the sugar. Honey, fruit. Eat a bunch of fruit. Eat a bunch of vitamin C. Drink milk. Milk is good. Babies love milk. We got to return. Okay? So through play, through proper nutrition that gives us energy, that is how we begin to see. That is how we begin to feel again. And then we can start to break out of this prison. So that's it, man. That's really the message for today. I wish you guys well. I hope you're filled with the Spirit. I hope you have a lot of just thumos going into this summer. Okay? Get out there, get sun on your skin, get your shirt off, walk around your yard, get that sun on you. Let's work out. Let's go forth and play. Let's have fun, converse, dive deep. Join us in the group if you're not in there already. Come talk with me. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to talk with you. And Godspeed, man. Okay, stay strong. Keep it like thumos. Peace.